kicks down on a lonesome road. Now I'm cruising, I ain't looking back. You know I still got the blues back in my Fleetwood Cadillac. My record started selling, I saved a little bread. I bought myself a Fleetwood painted lipstick red. Now I'm cruising, and I ain't looking back. You know I still got the blues back in my Fleetwood Cadillac. Cadillacs, I find car, they got everything you need. Built just like my baby, built for comfort, not for speed. I'm cruising, I ain't looking back. You know I still got the blues back in my Fleetwood Cadillac. Oh, hit I find car, they got everything you need. Built just like my baby, built for comfort, not for speed. I'm cruising, I ain't looking back. You know I still got the blues back in my Fleetwood Cadillac. Oh yes I do.
Happy Saturday morning, 9:10 a.m. Central Time, but we are really broadcasting worldwide today in Romania. A.J. Weinberger. Thank you, my friend, with your great new CD, Reborn. Welcome to Humagoo this morning, or this afternoon, I bet by you, huh?
Oh, hi, Tom. Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate your interest and support for this kind of music.
Yeah, this is totally international, worldwide. We were just chatting a little bit off air. Where you come from, music is in your roots, in the trade, in the, everywhere. Tell us a little bit about your background, AJ, and everything that's been happening in your great world.
Well, I'm just a simple guy from a relatively small town. Nowadays, my hometown, which is Oradea, which is on the western border of Romania. It's about 200,000 inhabitants. It's an 1,100 years old city. With a very serious citadel in the middle of it, and a lot of stuff went on, throughout the history.
Yeah.
A lot of wars, a lot of commercial routes, a lot of cultural influences, of course. And Turks came down and overthrown the city for a couple of 100 years. Then the Austrian came and implemented their own rigorous administrative system, which is actually, thanks for that, my hometown is a very logically built urban conglomerate these days. And actually, I was a happy kid, man. So despite the fact that we were belonging to a communist regime, but being so far westbound from the capital, nothing really bothered us, telling you the truth. In my childhood, I was part of an illegal network of vinyl record smuggling and anti-baby pills and the blue jean smuggling network. And actually, I made some money out of it. And this is how I get into this type of music, because I had to keep all those vinyl records, which I could not sell. Mm-hmm. And my first record, what I had to keep, was the Spectrum of Billy Cobham. And that guitar player of that album, Tommy Bolin, actually turned me into this direction musically.
Tommy Bolin, that is exactly a name.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past. And Tommy Bolin, yes, he had a great, I can forget the name of the album that he had in high school in the 70s. Yeah, and I do, rest in peace, I believe. He did pass away. Is that not correct? Yeah. And, and just thinking of cultures in the world and everything, we have these things going on around us, governments and that, but it always breaks down to the family, the music, what's locally around you. And I'm sure all the experience, all the cultures, in America we have the blues and stuff, and then you heard that over by you, and you wanted to bring that through vinyl. I remember hearing about that through the communist regime. That was one of the ways to break down barriers to music.
Actually, I remember when I woke up from my 4-day coma, out of meningitis. I get this meningitis when I was 10. And I told my mom, I want to be a rock and roll guitar player. And that's it. This is what I try to be ever since, day by day. And I was very conscious, searching and looking for information and music and everything what I can put my hands on in this regard. And this is how I develop my knowledge, my content, and my ethics, if I may say so, because it should come with a type of ethic, this type of musical approach, I guess.
All right, because you're just crossing all different cultural barriers and countries and things, and you knew we were talking about, before we went on air, you're a man of the world. Where you come from is on the Greenwich Mean Zero, You are the center of the trade routes, the old spice routes and the Silk Roads and all that. That came through where you're born, your family, your ancestors over there.
Well, not exactly that particular area, but let's say in a 300 kilometers radius.
Yeah.
So, and it just happened for me to be born in that city. But my family, which you can trace back, let's say, almost 260 years, they came from the similar area, but about the 300 radius, 300 kilometers radius, which is about 250 miles radius.
Right.
Somehow. But actually, they have the same cooking. Yeah, so they do the same cooking and use the same components and the spices in the cook. So this is why I can tell you very precisely that my family is coming from the same area.
Yeah. Now, growing up, what time you said it was guitar? I always like to talk about people, their influences. Instruments. Now, was that a struggle to find instruments and to create some? Did you kind of make some as your own? I mean, I remember as a kid, that's all part of the reason I'm doing this show. I can remember when I was 3 years old, listening to the Beatles songs at a little 45. So music connects us all at some point when we were younger.
Yeah. Actually, regarding instruments, it wasn't that difficult to find extremely high quality acoustic guitars in Romania, because maybe you don't know. We have in Romania, here in the middle of the country, the biggest instrument factory in Europe. Mm-hmm. And actually, the Hofner guitars are made here, so they produce them here. Because they have a very long tradition. They call the Valley of the Italians. It's a microclimate over there, among the mountains, in the middle of Romania. And they have this beautiful musical resonance to the wood. So Italian violin masters, Amati, Guarnieri, came here for wood. And around this little micro forest, this instrument factory and the instrument tradition has been developed over the centuries. And nowadays we have a beautiful acoustic instrument factory. And this is how I got, because it was very handy to go to the music store and get acoustic guitar, which is honestly, I never had a better sounded acoustic guitar ever. And I had a few huge brands here in my collection, but none of them was so warm and so silky that Amarillo guitar, because that was the name of it. And so instrument-wise, it wasn't that difficult. What we found difficult, the electric guitars was difficult to get, and also the strings for it, and the speakers for the cabinets. So this is another story. We had to entertain all those Scandinavian ladies groups coming to our little city to for this thermal resort towns. For different type of treatments. Actually, they came for booze and sex. That's the truth. And so we delivered them all those things, and we got in return a nice time and a beautiful set of guitar strings, because this was difficult to get.
Oh my, that's amazing. That's a great story. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, talking about instruments. Of course, the violins and all that, the instruments from Austria, that is where it comes from, your neck of the woods, all the great instruments through all the time. And that's what I love about my show. I get to learn as you guys are talking too. Thank you. We'll get back to a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about some of your jams, because I think I like to do on here is we rock and roll and play the music. And that little story kind of leads you into a little wang dang doodle. It's the next one lined up. And that goes off that good segue with the ladies and all that good stuff. Let's get into a little bit of your Reborn CD now, and then we're going to play that and Sweet Little Number, and then we'll come back after that. So let's do that right now for everybody. Wang Dang Doodle. AJ Weinberger is my great guest from Romania. Thank you. Here we go.
Butching that